Yeah, thank you so much. Uh, this is the part two of the previous video I just did. This is the part two of it. On the topic, Yahusha died on a tree, not a cross. Like I mentioned, my emphasis is on Galatians chapter 3, verse 13. Like I mentioned, towards the end of part one of that video, I said the disciples thought that Yahushua was hanged on a tree. And I drew out some references from Galatians, from Acts chapter 5, verse 30, Acts chapter 10, verse 39, Acts chapter 13, verse 29, and 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 24. From those verses of scripture, we could see that the disciples thought that Yahushua was hanged on a tree. Let's go a little deeper. From those verses of scripture, we could see that the original word used was Zulon. Ox-U-L-O-N, Zulon, which has a Greek numbering of G3586. Zulon have a Greek numbering of G3586. If you have a good study Bible, you could check it out. Zulon was the word used there. That's the transliteration. Now, let's check out the meaning of that word. One, it means wood. Two, it also means a tree. Now, we could see that from the teachings of the disciples, when they were teaching about Yahushua being hanged on a tree, the original word used, which the Greek translated, they translated to their own Greek language, was Zulon. Now, let us go a little further. In Matthew chapter 27, verse 32, Mark chapter 15, verse 21, and Luke chapter 23, verse 26, that's where we could see the word crossed used in the English Bible, most especially the King James translation, the King James Bible. Now, that word cross that is being translated in English in those Bibles as cross has a Greek origin. And the Greek number is G4716. G4716. And that word means stauros. S-T-A-U-R-O-X. Stauros. That's the original word. Not cross, but stauros. Now let's check out the meaning that was being put down. Let's check out the Greek meaning. Number one, an upright stake, especially a pointed one. An upright stake, especially a pointed one. That's the first meaning. Two, another meaning was brought in. And I'm going to give us the depth of this second meaning that was brought in. Two, a cross. That's where the word cross came. Now, under a cross, we could see that it was explained further. A says, a well-known instrument of most cruel and ignominious punishment, borrowed by the Greeks and Romans from the Phoenicians to the time of Constantine. This meaning just explained the introduction of this word cross as a replacement for stauros, which means a stake, an upright stake. We could see from this meaning that the Greeks and the Romans borrowed it from Phoenicians. Who are the Phoenicians? The Phoenicians are the Canaanites. They are the pagan worshippers that Yahweh said his children should not associate with. And if you also check further from that explanation, we could also see that it came in existence from the time of Constantine. And what was the time of Constantine? In my first video, I mentioned it. Constantine's existence was in 312 AD, about 300 years after the death of YAHUSHA HaMashiach. So while we did not introduce a word after Constantine, after the death of YAHUSHA HaMashiach in the time of Constantine, into the scripture as a replacement for the original word, stauros, which means an upright stake. Why? Yahushua died and rose up on the third day. The stake in which he died, the stauros in which he died, was not to be worshipped. Why do you now kneel before a cross, which was not even part of the instrument in which he was hanged, which came into existence during the time of Constantine? Why do you now kneel before a cross when he never told us to? He said, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his stake and follow me. Luke chapter 9, verse 23. Stake and follow me. He never said cross. He said stake. He said follow. He said obey. And now we must ask, was it ever about the cross? Or was it about the covenant? Here is the verdict. The cross came from Rome, which is religion. But the stake, the stauros, came from prophecy, as we could see from the Torah, as we could see from the teachings of YAHUSHA HaMashiach, as we could see from the teachings of the disciples. And Yahushua did not come to build religion, but he came to fulfill prophecy. He came to fulfill the word that was spoken. And he came to call his people back to Yahweh. He came to die. But not for tradition, but for truth. He didn't come to die for tradition. He came to die for truth. So don't carry a symbol from tradition, but carry obedience. It is important that we follow his word. He didn't talk about cross. Cross came into existence by the tradition of man from Rome. When Rome became the seat of empire rule. So it is important for us to know this truth and search out the scriptures and follow the truth. He died on a tree.